On the eve of Day 9 of the 2018 Australian Open, the top three players in the world, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Grigor Dmitrov, were all still in the running. The ranking system looked to be pretty predictive. There have been some upsets, but on the eve of Day 9, those top three players in the world were still in the running. But now, with Day 9 completed, only one man is standing, and it's Roger Federer. My name is Aaron Knapp. Welcome to Tennis Talk Daily. Subscribe to the channel for the best and most insightful and the most frequent tennis commentary on YouTube, and give the video a thumbs up if you like it. So we had some upsets last night, some serious upsets, in fact. They weren't sort of radical, crazy upsets, but serious upsets, I think, is the best way to put it. The Dmitrov match, saw Dmitrov looking less than great. And I noted about the Dmitrov-Kyrgios match that, which was in the fourth round, I noted that, Dmitrov did seem to be having an edge. He won all of his sets in that match and took the match by way of tiebreaks. So he seemed to be playing with the edge necessary. The problem is that you need to get up to the point where the edge matters. And I think Dmitrov had a problem doing that in the match with Kyle Edmund, really the underdog and the unpredicted participant in this. Now it will be a semifinal against Cilic. Well, you need to cross that threshold. You need to protect your serve. Well, Dmitrov was not doing that. He let go, I think, about 16 break points on his serve. It's just not good news for him, and he was just too exposed. Kyle Edmund pounced and was able to get the better of Dmitrov in a four-set match that was very fun to watch, but again, saw Dmitrov not crossing the threshold that you need in order for the edge that he exhibited in his Kyrgios match to even matter. The final score on that is 6-4, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. So again, you see, he wasn't crossing that threshold. He wasn't, basically delivering that baseline, for lack of a better term, that baseline level of play in order for the edge to matter. So he couldn't even take Edmund to a tiebreak in order to sort of display that edge that, again, he seemed to have in the match with Kyrgios. But it was an upset given the ranking system, but you know what? It was not terribly surprising. I did predict Dmitrov, but this stuff is unpredictable, folks. Strange things. It's one of the reasons I love the game. Strange things happen. Strange things have happened so far in this 2018 Australian Open. What happened with Cilic and Nadal? Well, Nadal ultimately suffered an injury and just was not feeling good, and he had to bow out of the match. But listen, I have been talking about Marin Cilic now for the last week. He has been cruising through this tournament. His stats look incredibly good. In the Nadal match, for example, he served up 20 aces. This is a match that went, you wouldn't want to say 5 sets because Nadal retired kind of midway through the fifth set with Cilic up substantially, up a couple of breaks at that point, I believe. Cilic, 67% of his first serves were in. He won 77% of his first serve points. He won 38% of his second serve points. He converted 26% of the break points, 5 of 19. Again, Rafa surrendered 19 break points to Marin Cilic, which was a bad sign. But check this out, 83 winners for Marin Cilic compared to Nadal's 39. 157 points won. The fastest serve was much faster than Nadal's, or significantly faster than Nadal's, at 215 kilometers per hour. So Marin Cilic looks very good, and to be quite honest, at this point, is the favorite going to be in the Australian Open final. It's a little strange to say, but Cilic is the favorite. Now, he's been in finals before, He just was not really predicted. But again, kind of a dark horse. He's been kind of sailing through. He's been playing great tennis. Listen, Nadal retired. Nadal was not playing well, but Cilic applied pressure. So Marin Cilic is on fire. He really is, folks. And I have been mentioning him. Cilic is a person that has not been mentioned, I don't think, once over at Coffee Break Tennis. I don't think there's another individual that does this tennis show called Tennis Slice, I think. He's up in Canada. I don't think Cilic has been mentioned much at all. This is actually the only talk show where you've received a preview of what Cilic could be possibly doing, and I've had a lot of confidence in Cilic ever since I saw his first and his second round stats. He looked really good. Now, he is capable of winning a Grand Slam. He's won a Grand Slam before. Remember, he was in the Wimbledon final with Roger Federer where he broke down. Well, he's going to be looking to redeem himself. He is the favorite to go into the Australian Open final now with Nadal and Dmitrov out, we have to say. Edmund is a surpriser. He can pull off a surprise. Cilic can get upset. That's happened a number of times before, so we don't want to count Edmund out. I'm just saying based on the numbers. They've met once before, Cilic and Edmund. I believe it was in Shanghai. Cilic did win in straight sets. I believe the second set was a tiebreaker. So Edmund did give him a little bit of a run for his money, but we have to say that Cilic would be the favorite going into that, which means he's the favorite to be in the Australian Open, the 2018 Australian Open final. So, who's going to be the man on the other side of the court facing Cilic in the 2018 Australian Open final? And by the way, I admire Marin Cilic. I warmed up to Cilic a lot. In fact, for some reason, I'm a huge Federer fan, but for some reason I warmed up to him after that Wimbledon final. It was just the humanity. You know, he was crying, and I don't know what happened, but I just warmed up to him. I like him, and I like his play, and I'm really glad he's doing well, and I'm really happy for him that he's going to be getting into this final. He'll be taking home whether he wins or not, he'll be taking home a ton of money. Cilic has given Federer problems before. So who will be on the other side of the court for the final of the 2018 Australian Open on the men's draw? It's looking, by all appearances, to be Roger Federer, and it will be Roger Federer. Roger Federer does have to get by Thomas the Birdman Berdych, or Tomas. I think Roger says Thomas. But that will be a tough match. Roger's going to take Berdych very seriously, even though he has a very strong record against Berdych, and there's no precedent to suggest that Berdych could pull, and it would be an upset for Berdych to beat Federer here just because of the history of it. So it really does look like Federer will get through the quarterfinal into the semifinal with, well, it will depend. It's either going to be Sandgren or Chung. But again, as I've said before, Federer's path to the final looks pretty clean now. Whoever he gets in the semifinal will likely not present huge problems for Federer. And it's very possible that Federer could end up in this final without having dropped a set. We'll see what happens. But again, Cilic is going to be a very, very strong opponent in this final if everything goes as I've just predicted it. It will be very difficult for Federer. Federer and Federer's people will take Cilic and the Cilic threat very seriously. Now, don't get me wrong, they're probably celebrating today. They're probably celebrating a bit because, again, their path is very clean, and to be quite honest, folks, I am a Federer fan, but to be quite honest, this championship, Federer is looking at this point to be the favorite to lift up this trophy at the Australian Open again for the second time, consecutive time. He really is. Federer's on track to win this thing, so he's not going to let his guard down, that's for sure. And he's got serious matches to play. So I hope they don't celebrate too much because there's not that much to celebrate. He's going to get a run for his money. Berdych looks great. He's going to have to fight Berdych. If he can protect his serve, remember, he gave up not a single break point to Fucsovics. So if he can protect his serve, he'll get by Berdych, and he will likely get by either Chung or Sandgren, absent some strange and radical upset, which does happen in tennis often, as we're seeing. With Cilic, it's a different story. I'm going to have more on that. But listen, Federer needs our optimism. We love Marin Cilic, first of all. We do. He is a trooper. He proceeds deep in these tournaments very often. He's a great tennis player. He's one of the top tennis players. He deserves to be in this final, which it looks like he will be in. So it's going to be a repeat, and Cilic is going to want to redeem himself, because the Wimbledon final, to be honest, was kind of a cakewalk for Federer because Cilic sort of broke down. But Cilic is on, and there's no blisters. I don't think there's going to be anything for Cilic that he's going to have to deal with in terms of injury in this final. So it is going to be exciting. And the favorite is Federer. It looks like Federer will lift his 20th trophy. Folks, it's going to be amazing to watch, and just so much looking forward to it. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on some of these upsets. Let's talk soon. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting a little more today. And I'm going to try to spice things up a little bit. We'll see. I'm going to try to... I have kids, by the way. I have 2 kids. And I am a pretty, I'm a father who spends a lot of time with his kids and has to do a lot for the kids. My wife works in the daytime. And so I have limited time, but I'm trying to do this as much as possible. The video editing takes a long time, which is why I have not been doing it. But again, what I'm trying to give you here is no frills stuff. It's not the flashiest channel, but I'm telling you, this is the smartest and the most insightful commentary you're going to get. Certainly the smartest and most insightful commentary that I can offer you. Coffee Break Tennis is great. I do love Matt Bradshaw over there and the comedy that he has. I'm not a huge fan of the Slice Tennis. I am not competitive with Slice Tennis, and I wish him the best. I forget what his name is over there. I really do. And maybe for the young people out there, you think I'm too old or something. Maybe I've had too much gray hair. But listen, the tennis IQ matters, the years matter, the number of years you've been watching tennis matter, and the level, to be quite honest, of education matters too. Of course, I'm a little bit of an older guy, but I'm an equal opportunity employer. I want the young people to watch and learn and participate in the conversation as much as the older folks. So subscribe for the no frills commentary, and if you want a little bit of flash, that's going to be incorporated into this show as well as I get a little more time. So best wishes to you. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and talk soon. Bye.